There are a lot of claims that are made about the United States. One which is made fairly often is that America is a democracy.
I think we're all going to be held to account one day for what we did when our democracy was under threat.
Is our democracy for sale in America? Of course!
Do you feel like our democracy is under threat right now?
I do feel our democracy under threat.
Of course!
You know what democracy is about, and I really do love democracy, is one person, one vote. It is you disagree with me, that's fine. You got a better idea than me, fight for it.
Which was at the core of who we've been as a democracy for 240 years.
We just need to go back to what Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin said, that equality and democracy should be the foundation of everything that we do.
Of course!
I would love it if everybody in America agreed with me on every issue. I can't get my wife to agree with me on every issue, let alone the American people. It's called democracy, that's what it's about.
So what is the argument supporting this claim? Simply phrased, the reason why America qualifies as a democracy is because ordinary American citizens have the right to vote in elections that decide who will represent them in government. But as often as this claim is made, it is challenged fairly often as well. The counter-argument, again simply phrased, is that America is not a democracy, it is a republic. This argument is likely to cite a popular quote by Benjamin Franklin during the Constitutional Convention. When exiting Independence Hall, Franklin was famously asked, "Well, doctor, what have we got?" "A republic, if you can keep it." Another quotation from Dr. Franklin that supports this counter-argument even more effectively is his description of democracy as two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Without taking quotes from the Founding Fathers as gospel, let's question this. Why would Benjamin Franklin, or anyone involved with the nation's founding, describe democracy in such an unflattering way? The term democracy is derived from Greek and means rule by people. The broadest definition of the term is a government by the people, the rule of the majority. Now, the argument against a democratic government is that it isn't really a government in the first place. It's just a mob. Whatever the majority wants, the majority gets, even if it's at the expense of the minority, even if it means oppressing the minority. It would seem as though the bedrock of this point of view is a healthy dose of cynicism, the attitude that humans cannot be trusted to collectively govern themselves. The concept of a republic rivals rule of the majority with the rule of law. The term republic is derived from a Latin phrase meaning public affair and regards the government as a public matter. A broad definition of the term is a government in which supreme power resides in a body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by elected officers and representatives responsible to them and governing according to the law. The most basic distinction between a republic and a democracy is, in a democracy, the majority rules. In a republic, the majority decides who rules. If an argument is going to be had over the nature of the United States government, there's no better place to turn to than the nation's founding documents. How many times is the term democracy used in the Declaration of Independence? How many times is the term used in the Constitution or in the Bill of Rights? Well, to be fair, the term republic does not appear once in the Declaration nor in the Bill of Rights either, but it does appear in Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government. The term republic even makes an appearance, a much more familiar appearance, in every version of America's Pledge of Allegiance. Given the dictionary definitions and the reference in the Constitution, what is the basis for a debate over whether or not America is a democracy? Well, if you've been paying close enough attention so far, then you may have already spotted the issue with this particular debate. Let's go back a bit. Remember when we were looking at the definition of republic? Did this part stand out to you? Supreme power residing in a body of citizens entitled to vote? What this means is that in a republic, positions of power are attained via democracy. And if you'll recall, the most frequently given reason to support the claim that America is a democracy is the fact that American citizens can vote for and elect representatives. As with a lot of terms that describe various forms of government, the terms democracy and republic have been bent into different shapes over the centuries. Presently, the term democracy is very seldom used to describe the original concept of 51% of the population or more enacting whatever legislation they want to. Nowadays, that original concept is commonly described as a direct democracy. The term democracy all by itself is commonly used to describe the election of representatives. If that's how you describe democracy, it's also how you partially describe a republic. Republics require a form of democracy. Sometimes, the United States is referred to as a democratic republic, and while there's nothing incorrect about that, it is arguably redundant. Describing a republic as democratic is comparable to describing an explosion as loud. It's not unfounded, it's just unnecessary. But admittedly, the term democracy has developed something of a halo over time. It's become a very satisfying word. It produces a satisfying feeling. Claiming that America is a democracy can be a very effective way of communicating a popular sentiment. But in the interest of being accurate, referring to America as a democracy might not be effective. According to the dictionary, the Constitution, and the Pledge of Allegiance, America is a republic, and that entails democracy.
I see a new nation ready to take its place in the world. Not an empire, but a republic. And a republic of laws, not men.
Of course!